In Project 3-5, we're going to look at setting up global settings for the VI in Vim Editor. We'll also look up the basic search command, grep, an enhanced search command that allows you to use regular expressions called egrep, and we'll look at wildcard characters, the asterisk, and the question mark. Go ahead and start up your Oracle virtual machine. Once you have it running, switch to TTY5, Control-Alt F5 on the keyboard, and log in as the root user. We'll now edit the global configuration for the VI in Vim Editor. Type in vim space /etc/VIRC. This is the global settings for the VI. Cursor down to the third line that reads end if, and use O on the keyboard to open a new line underneath. Use quotation marks and put in custom changes, followed by set number. Go and escape and save the configuration file. Let's edit the global config for Vim now. Type vim /etc/VIMRC and press enter. Cursor down to the third line that reads end if. Use O on the keyboard to open a new line. Type in the same quotation mark custom changes. You may have to backspace and auto double quote and type in set number. Use escape :WQ to save. To view what happened, I use my up arrow key and I'll re-edit one of the files. Now every time that I launch the VI or Vim editor, line numberings will be turned on. I use :Q to quit. I'll use my up arrow key again and take the M off of VIM to show that if you use VI, it too will display line numbers. Go and quit again, :Q. So this lab section showed you the two global configuration files that you can edit to modify the way VI and Vim launches. Let's move on to the next part of the lab, looking at wildcard characters. Type ls and press enter. Notice we have three files: sample1, sample2, and sample3. Type in ls space asterisk and press enter. We get the same output. So ls or ls asterisk both searches for everything. Let's create a fourth file called sample. Use the command touch, followed by a new file name, sample. Now type ls sample asterisk. Press enter. We see we have four files named sample. The asterisk searches for 0 or more characters. Now let's check out the question mark. If we replace the asterisk with the question mark, we will not see sample because it requires to have sample and one more character. Here we only see the three files that have an extra character at the end: the 1, the 2, or the 3. Use the up arrow key again. Use two question marks. We won't see any files, as there are no files that have sample with 2 characters at the end. Next, let's try some regular expressions. ls sample hard bracket 1, 3, close hard bracket. This form will search for a word with sample with the number 1 or a number 3. Pressing enter, we get our two files, sample1, sample 3. Try it again, but this time put an exclamation point in front of the 1. This is a not operator. We don't want to see 1 or 3 at the end of the word sample. That leaves us with just sample 2. Use the up arrow key and put a dash between the sample 1 and 3. Press enter. This searches for 1 through 3, so we view the 3 files. Use the up arrow key again, add an exclamation point. We don't want to see a file that has 1, 2, or 3. Press enter. Since there are no more files in the directory that have 1, 2, or 3, we get an error, cannot find any files to display. Let's move on and use the search command in Linux. Use grep, and we want to search for the word in inside of sample 1. Press enter. Here, the 2 lines that have the word in are displayed to the screen. Grep is useful for searching log files for error messages. However, it is case sensitive by default. If I try to search for in all lowercase and press enter, I get no output. This would be cumbersome if the log files had a mix of errors typed in uppercase or lowercase form. You can ignore case by adding in a switch -I, pressing enter. Here we now get the 2 lines back because we're ignoring case. If you ever see a command in one of the labs and you see grep and you see we're using -I, you want to read more information about it, remember you can always bring up the manual page followed by the name of the command, and you can search for the switch that you see in the project. A quick way to search is using the / followed by some characters that you want to look for. In this case, -I. Press enter. It will jump you to the first instance of -I. Now we can read exactly what this switch does. You can use the N key to go next for the next instance, or P to go previous. Use Q to quit. Now let's search for a capital I. I mistyped in sample 1. Here we see any instance of I by itself, I in the word in, even I at the beginning of sentences. Use the up arrow key and surround the capital I with spaces. This time we won't be shown in or I that is at the beginning of a sentence, because now it only shows the I's that are uppercase and surrounded by spaces. Let's try a regular expression. Grep does not do regular expressions. So when we search for we or next word within sample 1, we will get no output. Use the up arrow key, add an E to the command for egrep, and press enter. Egrep understands regular expressions and we get an output. Go and use the up arrow key again, add a semicolon and the word date. Press enter. At this point, we're at the end of the lab, and you are to take a screenshot of the entire screen and submit for this assignment. This is the last lab for this chapter, but go ahead and continue playing with the grep, the asterisk, and the ls command.